Hey guys, it's Nicole here, and I'm here to do a process video for my first layout actually my second layout using the Simple Story So Fancy. Like I mentioned in the video, my first video was on the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. So these are the photos, or a portion of the photos I had pulled that I really wanted to use with this line because the colors just worked perfectly. And so I have these 3 photos, all vertical, that where the middle one showcases my 2 girls together, and then each of them individually on the left and the right, because they were dressed up specifically for specific parts for this program. And because I have so many of these cut apart cards and Project Life cards, I wanted to do some layering of them underneath the photos, kind of creating kind of it's basically a grid with the photo. So, but because they're all 4 inches wide, I have to trim them down. So I trim everything down, the photos and the cards down to 3.5. And that's just what I'm doing here. This is a great way to use up those cards. It's just kind of layering them underneath each other. And it just kind of creates a good dimension for the page, some good dimension for the page. I love that middle one that has that plaid because my daughter's wearing a plaid cowboyish or cowgirlish type of shirt, and so that just fit really well. And then I wanted to make sure I got some yellow in there because my other daughter's in yellow, and just with all the denim that they're wearing, that navy blue worked perfect. So it just worked out perfectly. So here I'm just trimming down the cards, and I just trimmed them down 3 at a time. So it goes a little faster. And I end up doing a pocket page along with this, and so I end up getting, let's see, 11 photos scrapbooked here in this video. So it is a little bit longer, but I also have a few more pictures to do, so there'll be more from this program scrapbooked with this line. So I'm not for sure if I'll do a process video on all of them or not. Anyway, so here I decide I want to matte the photos just to bring some more of those colors up. And so I matte all 3 of them with this paper, just so that surrounding the photos you have the mixture of colors that are showing up down below. And I also like that there's music notes on this, and so those kind of pop out on the edge of a couple of the photos. So this is basically from my girls' spring music program from last year, and I love pocket pages for situations like this because I have lots of photos, not a ton, but I have a good portion of photos. Obviously not, they're not going to fit on one layout or even a double spread layout. I might be able to fit them on a double spread, but it'd be packed. So this is why I love pocket pages, because, I want all the photos to stay together. But I'm able to showcase these 3 photos, but then have the supporting photos in the pocket pages next to it. And I also do the journaling in the pocket pages as well. And so I love that. I love that as an option, because I used to always have to resort to mini albums. And well, I like to do a mini album every once in a while. I don't like to do them often. I'm not in the mood to do them. And so pocket pages just for me were a godsend, because it just allows me to keep all my photos together and not have to like fully scrapbook all of them, if that makes sense. I can just put them in a pocket and have them supporting the layout itself. So, and for those of you who have watched my videos know that I do this on a very regular basis. I do, especially with vacation albums. But this is a perfect solution for when you have a small groupings of photos that are too much for a layout or two, but they're too little of an amount for a full-on mini album. And if you don't want to do a mini album, like I could do a mini album about this, but then I'd feel weird that I didn't have a mini album of all their other concerts. Like, that's kind of how my mind works. So this was just a really great solution. And back in the day, I used to do that. I used to say, okay, birthday parties are all each going to get a mini album. And I did that for a while. I did that with Easter. Every Easter I did a mini album. But then that just locks you in, and I don't like that. So as I grew as a scrapbooker and I evolved, I decided I don't want to lock myself into a mini album for every Easter. I'd like to do an Easter layout every once in a while. And so this is just a great solution because I don't have to feel like that these can all stay together. They don't have to be in just a separate album by themselves. So here I'm just kind of layering these down, and I have to adjust them a little bit because that one on the left is coming down a lot further than the other two. And so I just adjust the layers a little bit so that they're all kind of, their bottoms are all a little bit more even. I didn't want it super even because they're obviously very, they have a little bit of a messy look to them in the way that they're layered, but I didn't want it, that was really obvious that left one was way down further than the rest. So, and I wasn't able to really move it up too much because I wanted that yellow to show. So I ended up having to move the other ones down a little bit. And that works out just fine. So my idea then is just to like kind of layer up some embellishments on these blocks, which is what I end up doing. And I initially was going to journal on that white one, but when I decided I'm going to go ahead and do the pocket page next to this layout, I changed my mind and just embellished it because I know I'm going to journal on the pocket page. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to go out embellishing. And I know I had the cowboy hats from Jolie's that I wanted to at least use one or two of them. And then I had some wood veneers that I will pull out here shortly that had little chicks because my youngest daughter is a chick. And I wanted to use, there was one that said country, and then there was a horse because their overall theme was like barnyard and cowgirl. And so I do pull those out here. But before that, I decided I want to layer up some of these frames. Kind of be adding them as an additional layer to the grid, to these little boxes. And so here I'm just playing with the different colors and deciding what I want to do. And this pack had like a ton of frames in it because I use I think 4 on these spreads, and then I used I think 4 on my initial layout, maybe 5, I think 4. And I still have a huge old pile sitting in front of me. So I wonder how many were in that package. It's a lot. Anyway, I'm getting them used up, that's for sure. So I'm really liking this, and I'm just trying to figure out what other embellishments I want to layer on top of the frames, how I want to embellish these little squares. Here's where I'm pulling out the wood veneers. And because they're smaller, I end up doing them kind of towards the end because they're definitely a top layer finishing detail type of embellishment because they're so small, especially the chicks. They're really little. I'm surprised I didn't break them. I tend to do that every so often. So I'm going to glue these frames down. I'm committed to having them on the layers. The only thing I would probably change about this layout as I'm sitting here looking at it is I would probably maybe put like a 10 by 10 subtle pattern paper, like a subtly patterned paper kind of behind everything. I don't know why, for some reason, the way I have it isn't perfect to me, but that's okay. It's totally fine. It's a very full page, which is fine, but it feels like I need a little bit more color or something behind there. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not changing it, so it's okay. But it's amazing kind of how when you look at something on the screen, how you kind of start to see, oh gosh, that could be different but so I decided I'm gonna just put those aside because I know that they're gonna be finishing details and it's too early to try to put those somewhere. So I go to the sticker sheets and the chipboard stickers just to figure out, what bigger pieces I want. I have this border strip that has a music note, so I want to put that up above here as a kind of a base for where my title is going to be. And of course, it's not 12 inches long, which drives me batty. So frustrating. So I have to adjust it a little bit here. And what I like about, at least with this line, their stickers are very sticky, which is nice, but the chipboard stickers are not. So I had to reattach some of those, but it seems like you can never have them both perfect. So I have this sticker here and I love it. There. It brings again some more of those colors and patterns up to the top that are, shown below. And I did pause the video because I actually popped out of them. And then I'm going to pause again here because I'm going to do my title. So you don't have to watch me do all that. So here I have the title. And I start putting these arrow stickers and then I take them off because I don't like them. Maybe one would have been fine. I actually kind of like that one there. But I end up putting the chicks there, so it's okay. But it just seemed to be too much. The photos had some things going on and it was too much. So I ended up taking them off. I felt like that for some reason those just took away from the photos. So I take them off. I think I paused it again here so you don't have to watch it, I think. Okay, I'm getting better about that. Making you not watch kind of that stuff. So now I'm trying to figure out where these cowboy hats are going to go. I end up just doing one on the layout, and then I think I do one on the, I do one more on the, in the pocket page. And let's see. And then I put this country wood veneer in the bottom there, and that will provide me some wood veneer down at the bottom because I'm going to put the rest of them along the top. So I tuck the horse in. I actually put it on top of this sticker and just kind of layer it on there. And the chickies go next to the word chick. They're so tiny and so cute. All right, so now I think I go back to my sticker sheets. I decided not to use that second hat. And I go back to my sticker sheets just to kind of see what I want to use to fill in some of these squares. I find this arrow, which I really like because it kind of has that Western feel to it, but I end up finding one that has the polka dots in gold on the chipboard sheet, so I end up switching that out. On the right, I end up using some chipboard hearts, and so having the arrow be chipboard also kind of helped even that out a little bit. Everything's so cute. I just want to use everything. Like those feathers are adorable. I'll have to use those on one of these layouts for sure. So yeah, I find these hearts and just layer them a little bit on this side. And then this is where I find the arrow. And I do add in a few things. If you look at the photos at the end, I do add in a flat-backed brad to those 2 hearts and some enamel dots. Then I also add one on top of that arrow, along with some enamel dots, and then I think just a bunch of enamel dots throughout both layouts, or the layout and the pocket page. So in the final picture, there'll be a few more finishing touches than what I end up doing on the video. So here's where I'm looking at through my divided page protectors, and I did just recently reorganize these. I actually put them all in 12 by 12 American Crafts albums, so that I can it's just easier to find the spread that I need. Of course, this was the wrong one. I have one that's just all 12 by 12, and then I have one that is a variety of different pocket pages styles, and then I have a third one which is just the 6 horizontal and 6 vertical, because I've collected a ton of those over the years. I get them whenever they're half price at Hobby Lobby if I happen to be there. So I have to go and get, I forgot that I had those separated out. And then I have an 8.5 by 11 one, which has any page protector that's 8.5 by 11 or smaller, as well. So that was an organization thing I did. So here's just an example. So I need to get some kind of label or something in between each of them, but I don't. But I realized, oh yeah, I forgot I put all those in a separate album by themselves because I had so many of them. So I looked through my photos first and said, okay, these are all horizontal, which is very typical. And so I just come in and grab a horizontal page protector, and we did photos down. So I just have 4 of each daughter. And then I have the middle sections are where I can use 4x6 cards. And because I have a lot of 4x6 cards, I don't commit. A lot of times I'll try to use a card where I can use both sides. And so I just use one card, and I end up actually using 2, I think, in each, because I wasn't a fan of the backs of the ones I wanted to use. And so anyway, that's just one of my things. We're always trying to save money and make things go further. And if you can use a double-sided item and actually use both sides, is perfect, but it doesn't always quite work out that way. Anyway, so here I'm just putting in, I'm putting a side to each daughter so that my journaling can be focused on the particular daughter that those photos are of, and their role in the program and that kind of thing. So now I'm just trying to figure out what cards I want to use, just going through. I just kind of go through and pull possibilities, and then just narrow it down to the ones I like the best. I like the music paper, but I end up finding one that's just the music notes without the and so I end up using that one instead. Lots of possibilities. I could use lots of different ones that were really cute, but I end up finding 4 that I like the best. And I like that yellow because on the back side where my daughter's wearing yellow, I wanted to pull some of that in. that caught my eye because it felt very like Westernish to me, and so I end up using that one, and like kind of feels like a bandana kind of feel to it, so it just felt like it really fit with her particular outfit and photos, and so I find this music note paper or card and go with those. I could have used that pink triangle paper, but it just didn't quite work. It was a bit of a brighter pink than I wanted. And so I use this yellow polka dot to pull some of that yellow in. And then I end up finding a card that had like those multiple patterns all together that I used as the matting paper for the photos on the layout. And so I thought that was a nice way to pull in that paper again to the right side. And so here I was just trying to figure out how to embellish these cards, and I have this frame. I thought it would be good to get another frame over here, but I wanted to place to journal, and so I cut part of another card out to be the background to this frame, and then I journal inside that frame. I don't get it on the straightest here. So here I'm just looking through to see if I want to, how I want to embellish either of these cards. I don't end up embellishing the left card at all. I think it's perfect. I decided that this would be a good place to put another cowboy hat. And I do end up, after the fact, putting that hat, because of the bulkiness of it, and it kind of messes with the protector part, I end up putting it on the outside of the protector in the same place, but just I change that a little bit, and then as well as some enamel dots around that hat. So then here again, just trying to figure out how I want to embellish these cards, and I know I'm going to journal on that right one. And I really like this girl. And so I put that on top of the page protector, kind of layered over that journaling section there. And I'm putting some more adhesive on it because it wasn't very sticky. And I straighten it out because it's a little crooked. Okay. And then I just go to the sticker sheets again, and I find this really cute heart, and I put it on directly on the card. And then I add one flat sticker and then one chipboard sticker heart. I layer to the bottom left of that heart. And then at the end, add some enamel dots to that little cluster as well. So here I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do here. And I'm liking that a lot. And it brings in a little bit more gold. I don't have a ton of gold, but I do have some on the layout itself with that arrow. So that'd be good to pull in a little bit of gold. So here's how it looks all together. I mean, I know you can't see the whole thing, but oh, and then I add this border strip at the bottom because I felt like it just needed to be grounded a little bit. And also because the title at the top goes almost all the way to the top of the page. And so I felt like it was uneven. I had uneven margins, and that was driving me a little crazy. And I still have uneven margins, but it kind of solidifies down there a little bit. So here's the final photos of the finishing touches. I added some of the flat-backed brads and some enamel dots. I scattered along the page, as well as the cards on the pocket pages there. So thank you so much for watching, and happy scrapping. Bye, guys.